Is it just me, or was playing the Oilers without McDavid more stressful? Yes, why is that? Is it because they had to win? Had to win, yes. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, it's a little ridiculous. Good boy. Play all the hits. Left the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let me finish. How am I supposed to go to bed after watching that? I'm quite hyped. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, puppies, buddy. What do you do with a wide open net? You don't pass it. That's oh. It's okay. It's okay. They've played one game in the last 75 days. You get a mulligan. You get a no. It's right. It's right. Hey, you got that one. You got that one. What? I did the presidential point. High five. Yeah. You just fart. High five again, buddy. Sure. Leafs win. 4-2. I almost forgot about the Kerfoot goal. 4-2. Over the Edmonton Oilers. Man, everything is hard to remember. Okay. So here's where we're at. December 21st, the Leafs beat the Edmonton Oilers. And would you believe me if I told you the Leafs have only played one game since? It's true. It was that 6-0 win against Ottawa from, I don't know, when was that? Saturday. I believe you. Listen, I know we were all thinking the same thing. The Edmonton Oilers in their last 12 games, 2 wins. That's it. They're so desperate, they're talking about firing their head coach and bringing in potentially Babcock to replace him. It might happen before I post this video. Even if they don't end up doing that, Tippett still might get fired. He's in an open war of words with Mikko Koskinen. Except no, my very clear comments were taken out of context. No, they weren't, Dave! On top of the Oilers being in a tailspin, they're without Connor McDavid, they're without Derek Ryan, they're without Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who is out for non-COVID related stuff, old school, and Tyson Barrie is out as well. What does that mean? Yes, slam dunk win. What did it mean? No, yes, they ended up winning, but no. And what's wild is, from the Leafs' perspective, they had a bunch of guys in COVID protocol. They no longer do. Outside of Kasha being missing from this lineup, this is the healthiest the Leafs have been all season long. Every member of the D-Corps was there. Both goaltenders were there. Every forward outside of Kasha was there. Slam dunk win! Except no, this is basically like preseason, first game of the season vibes, because how on earth are you supposed to get into a groove? This might sound dumb. Oilers fans might roll their eyes at this, but part of me was like, do the Oilers have an advantage heading into this game? Strictly because they played more recently. That's probably overthinking it, because the talent on paper was rough, but you could tell early on, especially when they got the 2-1 lead, and the amount of almost chances that they had picking the Leafs off at the blue line and everything, that they were more crisp. It didn't matter that the Leafs had more talent and a healthier roster. The Oilers looked better prepared. Now, usually that would be like a condemnation of the Leafs' performance and their work ethic, and why can't Sheldon Keefe prepare these guys? Except we all know the answer. Dude, most hardcore Leaf fans don't even know when they're playing! Do you? Yeah, when's their next game? Don't look at the website. So actually go look at the website. Oh, it's a back-to-back. Says here back-to-back. No, it was supposed to be a back-to-back. The Leafs were supposed to be in Montreal tomorrow night, but it's been postponed because Canada bankrolls the NHL. By the way, if you needed any more proof that is zero hyperbole at all, sorry to everybody else, but Canada is quite literally the lifeblood of the National Hockey League. The reason they're postponing these Canadian dates is because, well, I don't know if you noticed there were no fans in the stands. The crowd noise is really hit it. It did not. But the NHL so badly needs revenue from these Canadian home games that they're postponing them all. Did you see what they did with the Islanders the other day? The Leafs have a game against the Islanders coming up. I think it's in February, and it's in Toronto. They have another one against the Islanders in April. They flip-flop them because they want the Canadian date in Toronto to be later on, because hopefully restrictions will have lifted. I know a lot of you don't want to hear this, but a lot of people genuinely don't know what's going on. I've been talking to lots of people. They're like, Steve, when's the next game? This is your job to know these things. And I'm like, as I quickly look down at my phone. Here's the good news. This game was sloppy, and we knew it was going to be sloppy. They have another game postponed tomorrow, but the Leafs are about to head on the road. Right now, fingers crossed, there's no postponements, and this will actually allow the Leafs to get into a little bit of a groove. They're going to play 4 straight games. 4 honest-to-goodness straight games. Colorado on Saturday. Producer Drew is very excited about that. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle live on the Sportsnet YouTube channel on Saturday night, and then they get Vegas, they get Arizona, and then the following Saturday they get St. Louis again before returning home to Toronto. Just kidding, that game is postponed! Before they head out on another 2-game road trip, and I hope we don't know what happens after, but I hope it's people going to the games. Anyway, this video is not about the Leafs' entire schedule. We can talk about the Leafs-Oilers game, we're gonna. I hope you're okay. Because I scour Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and everyone's social media, okay? I can't help it. It's what I do. It's 2022, man. I got that one right. I almost said 2021. It's 2022! And I'm scouring social media and I don't even ask the question. Like, is this person okay? I know they're not! I guess what I'm trying to say is I worry about you. Eh? I worry about you. I hope you're doing okay. You all right, friend? Let's talk some hockey right now and forget all about it, okay? That'll help you be okay. Now, the game starts with what we all thought it was going to be. The Leafs demolishing an Edmonton Oilers team that's severely shorthanded and without, arguably, not so much arguably, the best player in the world in Connor McDavid. Definitely the best offensive player. And the subplot of we try to pretend that Zach Hyman is not on the Edmonton Oilers and try to get through the game without crying. I was sad. Were you sad? I was sad. But anyway, the Leafs get an early goal. In fact, it was one that the Leafs didn't even have to score themselves. Mikko Koskinen is in Dave Tippett's doghouse. Meanwhile, Mike Smith returns to the lineup and bats a puck into his own net in the first 5 minutes. There was some confusion about who got this goal. So, William Nylander rips the thing on. It goes wide, bounces off the end boards. Back towards the crease, Mike Smith kicks it into his own net, and it's 1-0 Leafs less than 5 minutes in. Some people thought that John Tavares tipped the shot or poked it into the net, but he didn't, so it's Nylander's goal. Except, after Nylander shot it before the puck even had a chance to go wide of the net, Tavares did actually tip it. So Tavares tipped a shot wide and got a goal for it. Screw it, he's my captain and I love him. He deserves it, his 14th of the season. Leafs up 1-0. See, they're gonna stomp them. Oh, fiddlesticks. I want to highlight what happened on the two Oilers goals. They're not so much criticisms. Again, I have a hard time holding too much against these guys because of the schedule that they've had. So I guess I'm showing you more because they're funny. Only a few minutes after the Leafs open the scoring, Brendan Perlini is fed a pass from Colton Sevier, and part of the reason for that is because he was wide open! And at the Leafs blue line, I see Rasmus Sandin go for a pinch, and Nick Ritchie is there and sort of looking around. And so I'm looking at the guy that Sandin is pinching against, and it's not number 42, that's Brendan Perlini, the guy who scored the goal. So what happened? You see the Oiler in the slot there? That's Brendan Perlini, the Leaf between the two Leafs attackers. Yeah, that's Brendan Perlini. Now, what I can't illustrate to you is Brendan Perlini turns on the Jets. He sees what's going on. And to his credit, so does Travis Dermott, because you can see he's trying to focus on Sevier, but he's also like, boys, no one's got that dude flying up the middle because Rasmus is here at center ice. Nick Ritchie, who had just had a good shift prior to this, and good for him getting back into the lineup. If you look very closely, that is the look of a man who realizes he should be somewhere else. He almost gets there in time, he super doesn't, and Perlini scores. Again, I know a lot of people like to dump on Nick Ritchie. They've played 2 games since before Christmas. And you know what's sad? He's played even less! So it's 1-1. Just over a minute later, this one's somehow worse. Again, I'm gonna show you another screenshot, and it doesn't quite do it justice. All 5 Leafs are floating towards the puck at almost the same speed. The Oiler, right at the face-off dot there, the one who's all alone, that's Leon Draisaitl! He leads the league in goals! Somebody, anybody! Morgan Rielly looks the silliest on this goal, but he's the only one who is even remotely close to Leon. He didn't have a ton of time to come up with a plan. This is what he ended up coming up with. Who amongst us can say we had a better plan, you know? TJ Brody could say that. He would press L1 and R1. But the rest of you are clueless! And in Morgan Rielly's defense, Brody was out there for this. And now, all of a sudden, in a slam dunk, can't miss, must win game, the Leafs are losing. And a lot of Leaf fans, I saw you in my mentions, here we go! They're gonna blow a game that they should absolutely win! This is like unstoppable force against immovable object type stuff. You have a Leafs team that most people believe is cursed by now, versus the Edmonton Oilers, who most people believe is cursed by now, and they've won 2 out of 12. Offensive zone draw. Matthews wins it back. TJ Brody ends up with it after getting the pass from Nylander. Because Sheldon Keefe, you cheeky coach you, starts a line of Nylander, Matthews, and Marner in the offensive zone with only about 30 seconds to go in the period. Brody gets the puck, fires it intentionally wide because Mitch Marner is in front of the net and he's gonna tip it in. To me, this angle is the funniest because it shows just how wide the puck was going. There's Zach Hyman, who I wish was the Toronto Maple Leaf still, and in front is Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse on Mitch Marner. Marner is the only guy this puck does not hit. It goes in off both Oilers, so again, the Leafs haven't even had to score their own goal yet. And before the end of the first period, the Leafs tie the game up. And I'm not gonna lie, after a bit of a scare, that was the moment I knew the Leafs were gonna win this game. Because, dude, the Oilers just feel terrible right now. They play terrible, they feel terrible, they look like they feel terrible. But with all these guys out of the lineup, and they're in Toronto, all the spotlight, they get to stick it to the Leafs. Isn't this great? Hey, we're up 2-1 after 1. Isn't this great? Nope, you head to intermission having blown it with less than 30 seconds to go. So that's first intermission. Two notable things in absence of any goals in the second period. One, Zach Hyman mic'd up and waving at the tribute and acknowledging the crowd that wasn't even there, asking Wayne Simmons about his family. I wanted to cry. Leaf fans, once everyone can get back in the building, we have to give Zach Hyman his proper due. But beyond that, one of the most mystifying moments of this season. The Oilers have a mad scramble in front of the Leafs net. Mad scramble. How much of a mad scramble? Here's Jack Campbell deploying a goaltending tactic that can only be properly described as blind panic. Literally blind panic. He's not looking at the puck. He has no idea where the puck is. That's Ryan McLeod with the puck, by the way. Oilers' second round pick from 2018. He's pretty good. I need to emphasize this picture. In fact, just give it the whole screen. This did not result in an Edmonton Oilers goal. Why? Because McLeod passed it. Show it again. He passed this. The puck is on his stick in this photo. Dude, I didn't even react to this in real time. I thought like he took a shot and it got deflected or something. No, he passed it. He tried to pass it to Zach Hyman. And I had a bunch of people tweeted at me like, oh, dang it, that's gotta go in the Dang It's video. And I'm like, it's almost too mystifying to go in Dang It's. It should go into WTF's video. Sportsnet has not yet approved the WTFs. But we'll see. I thought of this and was gonna say it in the video, but producer Drew tweeted it because we apparently are both nerds. The only logical explanation for what happened here, and producer Drew tweeted this, it's brilliant. You ever play NHL and you get stuck in a pass animation and it's too late to cancel it? That's what this is! That's 100% what this is! He pressed R2 and he couldn't cancel it. He probably got back to the bench and Hyman's like, why'd you press R2? I don't know, man. I didn't mean to. I figured it out at the last minute, but the animation was already happening. It's all right, bro. So don't worry about it. It happens to me all the time. Really? No! I'm Zach Hyman! I bury those, man! Come on! But it's okay. It didn't end up costing the Oilers. And by it didn't end up costing the Oilers, I mean it sort of might have cost them the game. Because naturally, the Leafs get a power play in the third period. The first unit can't get it done, but guess what? The second unit cannot be stopped! Ilya Mikheyev, the Cobra, finds a way to bury it. He freaks out like it's a playoff goal because this dude, he's in it. This is what he wanted. Everyone's got to feel good for Mikheyev, not just because he's scoring and he's coming back from an injury, and even when he was healthy, he struggled to score. Remember, Ilya Mikheyev requested a trade from the Leafs. He wanted a more prominent, a more offensive role. The NHL is wild, what it does to expectations, because we see Mikheyev struggle to score at the NHL level, and we're like, he's a bum! Not realizing that he's in the NHL for a reason. He came from the KHL, where he lit it up. Came to the NHL, discovered he was good in another role, but he wanted an opportunity to score. And remember, before his wrist injury as a rookie, he was starting to heat up. Before the bubble, he looked great. We had high hopes for him, and it has since been a nightmare. But because the hockey gods are funny and weird, we now have back-to-back games where Ilya Mikheyev has scored a power play goal, and Mikheyev and TJ Brodie scored in the same game in back-to-back games. I don't know what the math is on that, but I would like to know it. Campbell stands tall for the rest of the game. Alexander Kerfoot with a little bit of a speed wobble there. Anyone who had the minus 1.5 on the bets was super happy about that goal. And there you go. Leafs win 4-2, and I'm going to check my phone. Have the Oilers fired Dave Tippett yet? I'm not going to reshoot that. They have not. Questions. I miss Zach. It's not a question, and I wish you didn't ask it. Ilya Mikheyev? Ilya Mikheyev. How much do you think the lack of audience affects the energy of the Leafs? I especially miss the soup chant. Yeah, I mean, well, the Leafs audience, or crowd, whatever you want to call it, is often one of the more quiet ones until it's super not. It's a really weird building. I mean, I watched the same game you did. It did seem like the energy was off. I don't think it was necessarily because the fans weren't there. I mean, that's your brain adjusting to watching games with fans versus without fans. But I think for the Leafs, their energy or perceived lack of energy came from, dude, they've played twice since, like, the beginning of winter, literally the date that winter began. This 4-game road trip, they could lose all 4 straight. As long as they play with structure, it could be a victory. Thoughts on Mike Babcock as the next head coach for the Edmonton Oilers? Okay, so we sort of talked about this on the podcast. It's a copycat league, right? The Oilers might be looking at all the fun the Vancouver Canucks are having. The Vancouver Canucks, who are quickly rocketing up the standings to where the Oilers are. They're probably looking at the Canucks and going, well, they fired their coach and made no changes other than that, and it worked for them. Here's the thing. The Canucks were a miserable team who brought in a super positive, happy-go-lucky coach, and then they started winning. Your copycat of that idea, which is not necessarily a bad idea, by the way, cannot be to bring in Mike Babcock. People are connecting the dots here. Ken Holland, Hockey Canada guy. Babcock, Hockey Canada guy. Ken Holland, passed with the Red Wings. Babcock passed with the Red Wings. I don't think it's going to happen. Chris Johnston on the Chris Johnston Show, the CJ Show, reported months ago. I remember it was one of the first shows that he thinks Babcock could be done. Like, just done. And it's his choice, and he's chosen to be done. I think the Oilers badly need some positive energy, and I just don't know if that's the move, man. So, that is it. What happened to my voice? That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. We still got a new podcast coming this week, even though the Habs game is postponed. We still got another Steve's Dang It's coming. That's interesting. And watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle Saturday against the Avalanche. Producer Drew will be there.